Lynette Oxley here for Tactical TV. It was a lovely sunny day today, and I'm here with Paul from GOSA. Welcome, Paul.
Hi Lynette, hi guys.
So, it was a nice week, but we want to talk about CSI today, hey?
About what?
CSI.
Okay.
Ballistics.
Yeah, no, we don't want to talk about that at all. It's just the retardation in the South African Police Service rearing its head again. Inventing reasons why they can't do their work. Inventing reasons why they can't do their duty. One must remember the South African Police Service is a supposedly professional organisation that's in service of the South African public. It's right there in the name.
Yeah.
They have a duty to provide service. They're not just employees. They're sworn to provide services to the South African public as part of their duty. But they try to invent all sorts of ways to avoid doing just that. Whatever they can possibly do to avoid doing their duty, they try. It's quite disappointing. Anyway, and as usual, the retardation has cropped up in the Western Cape again. The Western Cape has years of history of trying to avoid doing their duty. SAPS in the Western Cape, I actually had to fly down there a couple of years ago. Sorry, Uji's playing with his cricket ball. The little gods next door donated a cricket ball to him.
A while ago.
Yes. Anyway, and he's also upset about this. Yeah, so very upset. Uji, are you going to let me talk? Where's the ball? Can I reach? Here it is.
Okay.
Okay, he's got it. Okay, he'll be back though. All right. So what happened is, what happens in the Western Cape particularly? A couple of years ago, I had to fly down to the Western Cape to attend a meeting with then Brigadier Botma to try to iron out the Western Cape's misinterpretation of the law. In any case, and that we solved that problem for the dealers down there, because the police were pitching up a dealer's premises, looking in their registers, you know, those big firearms registers, and looking on the right hand side of the firearms stock registers, and if people had made notes of who they'd sold the gun to, in what safe it was, or on which shelf it was, in pencil, the police were trying to fine them 50,000 rand for defacing the book. So we had a couple of police colonels in the Western Cape that were at the that. In any case, the problem is the way it always happens in the Western Cape. So now we have instances for the police in the Western Cape again claiming that firearms that are sent to ballistics because they've been taken into the 13 store. They have to be sent for ballistics, where the Act actually specifically says, and where the guys, where they suspect somebody in the area fired shots, so they collect the firearms in the area and send them for ballistics. It's just retardation. In any case, it's and they won't give the firearms back. Then the guys have to wait 18 months, sometimes 2 years,
and then the firearm license expires.
And the licenses expire. So the facts of the matter are that if the police take your firearm for any reason, if you're not in possession of your firearm for any reason, because it's been stolen, either by real criminals or by the police, that's a distinction without a difference. If it's been removed from you, your firearm license, the moment it's circulated, the moment it's put into the 13 store, the moment it's been stolen and it's in a case docket, your firearm license gets suspended for that period, for the period that it's missing, because you can't
do anything about it.
You can't renew a license on a firearm that you don't have in your possession, because you're not in possession of the article anymore. It's somewhere out there, who knows, in a 13 store or been given to a criminal, or from one criminal to another. You can't renew the license on it. So your license period extends from when it should have expired until the appropriate amount of time that it's been out of your hands when you eventually, if you eventually get it back.
Yeah.
So the same thing applies with the ballistics. If the police take your firearm in for ballistics, and they spend 18 months, 24 months with ballistics, your firearm license is extended by that period. If it expires during that period, you have no way of renewing it. So if it expires during that period, it hasn't expired. But the police's systems make no allowance for this. So the law is one thing. The law says your firearm is good. Your license is good. But the police say, no, you have to do something magical. I don't know what. But they don't have an answer for it. So anyway, so then we delve into this whole thing of being confiscated to be sent for ballistics. The moment the investigating officer discovers that your firearm is not linked to a crime, they've caught the real guy, or they found the real firearm, or whatever the circumstance,
Or the case is
they have a
dismissed
duty
against them
to
or whatever.
immediately return that firearm to you. Not, oh, sorry, it's been sent for ballistics, wait another couple of months. They have the duty is on the investigating officer to immediately return the firearm to you. Whether that means he has to climb in his civic car from Port Elizabeth and drive to Pretoria where the ballistics testing is done and get the firearm back. So a couple of years ago, GOSA was one of the contributing parties, along with a whole bunch of other members of the firearms community, in sponsoring and getting out this document by Dr. David Klatzo, Defective Science, which describes what the police laughingly refer to as ballistic science. So the science that's supposedly behind ballistics is the science of the study of tool mark engraving. In other words, when a bullet travels through a barrel, it's engraved by the harder material of the battery, etc. The brass case is forced back against the breech block and the extractor, and those make marks on the brass case. So those are tool marks. So the science of ballistics is supposed to be comparing tool marks. In any case, and the police would have you believe that this is that it's science.
That's why I said it's CSI.
Where it's not science. It's actually a Hollywood fiction. It was invented by well, anyway, and it's tied to another piece of fiction called ballistic fingerprinting, which has been scrapped everywhere that knows what they're talking about, except in South Africa, where goods are procured for the South African Police Service based on the amount of money that can be paid as a finder fee or as a bribe to certain police officers, which is why General Pashlani, one of the many ex-national commissioners of police, who is now being investigated or arrested or imprisoned or whatever. We're not quite sure how far down the road he is yet. Who was previously, before he became National Commissioner of Police, was in charge of the supply chain management that supplied the stuff to the forensic laboratories. So a huge scandal, etc., etc. But one doesn't look at what the scandal actually involved. So the scandal there with the ballistic laboratory involved this myth that a bullet can identify the firearm that it came from. Nothing like that at all. If you have a firearm that you know was used in a crime, and you have a bullet from that crime, you can, to a degree of certainty, a certain degree of certainty, not 100% degree of certainty, you can, to a degree of certainty, say, okay, there's a good chance that this bullet came from that gun. But to take a bullet discovered on a crime scene and try to figure out, oh, it came from Joe Bloggs' gun, that's totally impossible. It cannot happen. It's fiction. It's a myth. And any policeman or any person that tries to tell you that it's not is lying. It's just as simple as that. So anyway, so Dr. David Klatzo, who's one of South Africa's most eminent forensic investigators, you may remember, he discovered the police's fraudulent use of forensic science in that case in Stellenbosch involving that student, the girl who was beaten to death with an ice hammer.
Yes.
So one of these little decorative ice hammers with a bottle opener on the back of it, so they can break up the ice
Yes,
cubes.
it's one of the things that I've discussed with Gerard about
Inga Lotz,
Gerard.
I think, was her
Yeah,
name.
and it's in Gerard Labaskachny's book, one of his profile books.
So what the police did then is they lost that. They bent the hammer trying to simulate breaking the ice with it. They bent the hammer.
I actually didn't know that.
So then they thought, oh shit, we bent the hammer now. Now what do we do? So they went to the hardware store and bought a new one.
Yes,
And then wrote a forensic report based on the ice or the dents which they managed to make in a bloody melon or whatever it was, or in ballistic clay,
Yes,
with a hammer that they bought at the hardware store.
I did see that. I didn't know it was him that was involved in it.
So David Klatzo showed that in court.
Okay, I didn't know that.
The point of it is that the entire forensic ballistic science thing is largely fraud. It's nothing more so than the ballistic examination of cases and bullets. There has, to my certain knowledge, not been a single instance in South African law where somebody has been found guilty of a crime based on the ballistic evidence alone.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. It becomes a contributing factor. But they deliver reports that say it's like fingerprints. Fingerprints are never 100%. It's like, oh, there's Dr. Klatzo gave us a demonstration, and he put up. So what they use is they have slides which they put up on a comparison microscope. And then they look from the one to the other and they say, okay, there's a point of similarity there, and there's this that looks like this one there, and there's this. So he showed us by means of a slideshow, he showed us how this can be manipulated. And one of the examples was the weirdest. There were two examples that stick behind in my mind 5 years later. One was where the caliber wasn't even the same, but in order to compare the slides, they had magnified the bullets, so the images to be the same size.
9 mil to go bigger, like 40 or 45.
Exactly.
Or okay.
So they magnified them so they could make a comparison. And then they said, yes, it's the same firearm fired both bullets.
And
the other one was,
yeah.
there are firearms which are conventional rifling, the lands, the bits that stick out, are higher than the grooves between them. But there's also something called reverse rifling. And if a bullet carrying markings, engravings from a reverse rifle barrel can look in a black and white photograph, can look the same as a positively engraved bullet. So complete negatives of each other. They can the one can look like the other because it has the same shadows and marks, and they go for like 1 or 2 or 10 or however many points of comparison, which is absolute junk. I mean, anyway, so the chances of developing false positives
are pretty good.
Are huge. They're monstrous. It's like, if the police are looking to find something, they're going to find it. They may not even have to go and buy something in the hardware store.
It's like the fire investigators. There's always been a case that they actually make a case. There's that specific.
When you're looking for fire, when you're looking for arson, you find arson.
That's been said a lot.
Everything is a sign of arson.
Yeah.
When you're looking to make a bullet match, a crime scene bullet match a sample, you'll turn it around 1,000,000 times until you find points of similarity, because that's what you're looking for. It's not real science. Real science doesn't rely on trying to positively identify stuff. Real science relies on negative findings. Relies on trying to disprove something. You can't have ballistic science.
But if you, for example, shoot a bullet through gun A, so a Glock,
well, this is what we found.
And 10 rounds later, the barrel has changed, am I correct?
Yes, 100%.
It can't
Within
stay
the
the
space
same.
of one magazine, a brand new gun will change its engraving characteristics on the same type of ammo significantly, so that you can't recognize it anymore. What we did when we got a bunch of the dealers, I know Bernard Agencies, I know Nicholas Yale supplied guns and ammo for the testing. We built a massive, and I was just having a look, there's actually a photograph in here of it, a massive, and anybody that's in the Cape, go and have a look at False Bay Gun Club.
And this is available on...
Behind Keith's nice new shop, there's this big water tower, which was created, which we paid to create, so they could do the ballistic testing there. I've got a photograph of it here, I'll show you now. It's just, anyway, but download this. Sorry, this Defective Science is available on the GOSA Facebook group.
In the link.
And in the link that we've put into the video here. It's a great, there's a photograph of the water tower, the ballistic water tower at False Bay Gun Club. Big thing. Built that there specifically for this, so that we could trap the bullets in the correct way and test them and stuff like that. So we had brand new firearms. We had our brand new Glocks, we had Tauruses, we had a whole bunch of guns, and brand new ammunition, all very different types of ammunition. And depending on the type of ammunition, the brand of ammunition that was used in the gun, its ballistic characteristics changed.
So that's why it's called defective science.
It's defective science. It doesn't work. It's not real. We've come to believe this CSI magic. Everybody watched Crime Scene Investigation on CSI Las Vegas and thought, oh, it's real. It's not real. It's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and the South African police believe this. Oh, look, that's what I do. And, it's bullshit. It's absolute rubbish. It doesn't work that way. It's not science. When you try to prove something, it's not science. Science is trying to disprove something and finding that you can't disprove it. That's science.
Okay, so go and read it, download it from the
download it, read it. It's our document. We have the right to distribute it, distribute it wide and far.
So interesting discussion.
So just to pack ballistics away. So this whole reliance that the South African police has places on ballistics. It's rubbish. It's just one more embuggering factor. It's one more rock that they roll in our road, where there's no scientific basis to it. They've never proved anybody guilty of anything based on ballistic science, unless they have the gun, which they suspect was used, and they have the bullet, and they can match the two, and they can say to a degree of certainty this bullet came from this gun. But unless they have that, it's just pointless time and money wasting. Somebody has an uncle in the ballistic supply business.
Okay, so maybe let's have a chat about this whole story that came out about that certain people is asking for people to have competencies to look at guns. What the hell?
The Western Cape again. Sorry. You know, it's like, sorry guys in the Western Cape, I love you all, but you know, when the guys failed the medical for the Great Track.
Don't start that again.
No, honestly. So this thing crops up in the Western Cape again now. One of the dealers in the Western Cape is refusing to let people look at a firearm in the shop, in front of, on the counter, in front of the dealer or his representatives who are in his register, without a competence, because the police have told him that they're not allowed to.
So can I just go back, which is something that I wanted to mention while you were speaking to the client. I do proficiency training for competence.
Yes.
One of the questions that gets asked in the legal side, knowledge of the Firearms Control Act, is there's a little picture, if you use the ITA training material, there's a little picture of a guy standing with another person. Can this person, the second person, use that gun under the control of the person that's gun it? The answer is yes. So have none of those people passed the knowledge of the Firearms Control Act? That is what I'm asking.
Yeah,
it's
apparently not.
It's as simple as that.
Apparently neither the dealer nor his slaves that work for him nor anybody at the police station has actually gone through the proficiency. Because they
knowledge of the Firearms Control Act.
How is somebody supposed to be trained?
We're not New Jersey in the States.
Proficiency training. How are they supposed to be trained if they don't? If they can't touch the guns?
It's
yeah.
It's knowledge of the Firearms Control Act. If you've passed that, you should know that.
Yeah, you should know that.
You should know that.
But unfortunately, the dealer's managed to get himself bullied by the police. Again, the Western Cape police. It really seems like there's a problem down there. You know, the zombies are amongst us.
Something that cropped up on the Girls on Fire group is this whole thing that they're now trying to sell again money with, that it's face recognition and flipping that for owning a gun.
So this is the other thing. So now, this is something
that's another thing that's just come up. We've discussed it in the car.
Somebody's now developed a system where they can put a biological sensor on your gun so that it can read your biometric information, either fingerprints or retinal scans or something, and the gun won't work unless the correct person is holding it. Oh. So what happens if you get injured? It's got your right hand fingerprint on it. Your right hand gets injured and you have to use your left hand of the gun. The gun won't work now. Or you and I are together. I get injured and you have to pick up my gun to defend me, but it won't work in your hands because or policemen or security guards, they're under fire. The one has been wounded. He has to chuck his gun to his mate to use it. Sorry, the gun won't work now. It's just pure bad idea. It's some company that's discovered a bright new idea that they can make money out of, and they're trying to push this hard.
It's the same as the microdots on the bloody guns again.
Oh yeah, someone has an uncle in the microdot business, as I said to you.
And that's something that we've discussed before as well.
Anyway, it's there's, if we can just get past
stupidity,
all the idiots in the trade, the idiots in the police. If we can people just stop trying to make things difficult.
There's no reason.
Why is everybody trying to make things more difficult? Is it a desperate cry for attention?
I don't know.
What is it?
It's just ridiculous.
Anyway.
Shall we move on to something? I am busy organizing the Ladies Top Shot. I am trying to put some stuff in place before I actually release the dates, but it will be soon. I'm just doing some finalization, but we've already got lots of oros confirmed. A lot of other stuff is already confirmed. I think it's going to be a great one, so watch the space.
So the bookings will be opened
hopefully soon. I've shifted it to Friday next week.
Because remember, those bookings fill up within a day.
Yeah. I just needed to...
It's almost like Big Bang Theory, where the guys are trying to book for Comic-Con.
Renew. We've actually joked about it. Honest and myself is joking about it.
That's all they get
exactly.
Tickets.
So somebody has already found that I've actually created the match, but I haven't opened it, and they said, but I see you've created the match, is it open? No, it's not open.
But we can't log in. Yeah,
exactly.
On purpose.
It's like Comic-Con, yes. But it will be open. It's going to be a great event.
This year's going to be a super event.
It's going to be a super event.
We've already got a whole bunch of stuff that people have already chipped in.
Yep.
As you say, you've got most of your ROs sorted out already. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be, the venue's top notch, of course, as last year. It's a fantastic venue to host this. The venue's looking even better. The new owner has pumped money into it. He's really coming to the party on this as well, which is
I was
great.
there for another meeting with the Vrouweliga this morning, so we're going to support them from GOSA Girls on Fire side. They've got a competition on that we are going to, there will be at least 10 GOSA Girls on Fire there on an event on the 2nd of June. So there's lots and lots of stuff happening, so it's going to be awesome.
Good stuff.
Anything else, Paul?
No, I've had a rant about this now, and I don't want to carry on because the guys in the Cape think I hate them.
Just tell them you love them.
No, I love them all, but
anyway,
even if they failed the medical for the Groottrack.
Anyway, guys and girls, have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully the weather holds like it is and it's not as cold as last weekend. You can feel the nip in the air.
The wind and the rain and my
word. It was miserable for the long weekend.
Jeez, yeah.
Any case, I was working, so it didn't bother me.
No, I was working outside, so it kind of did bother me.
Anyway, cheers, everybody. Have a fantastic
Bye, guys.
weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Cheers. Bye-bye. I haven't even...